Good morning. My name is, thank you. My name is Angelina Villalobos Soto. I'm born in Seattle, raised in Seattle. I'm awkward, so if there'll be a lot of ums, and as I try to center myself, let's get settled here. I guess, boom. Ooh, I love this. Clicker. Today we're going to talk about cycle, inspiration, growth, and community, and how that fits into my public work and my murals. My work strives to engage the viewer to be a part of their environment through observation, critique, and participation. I believe community engagement is vital to successful art planning, and that art should be accessible to all. And my focus is education and leading by example. So public art allows me to engage with the community directly, making the process collaborative and rooted in a shared experience. Unlike when you go to a museum, it's very stagnant. You have the painting and then you have yourself and you move on through it. Public art is everywhere, and it's created by citizens that you can oftentimes talk to. At its best, I hope my work encourages people to pause, reflect, connect with the space, with each other, and with the themes the artwork explores. My creative process isn't a straight line, it's a loop, a swirl, a spiral. I pull inspiration from my experiences, my heritage, the Pacific Northwest, the ocean, the greenery. It all feeds back into my work, which in turn feeds me. My art reflects themes that are most essential to me: identity, community, social justice, and the natural world. These themes don't exist in little boxes. They're tangled, layered, interwoven, just like real life. And sometimes they get messy, just like real life. This is a mural I did for Facebook Meta. It was one of the first times I realized that I could do art as a career and not part-time or a passion project. And this mural was also allowed me to hire my sister, my little sister, who I love and adore, to help me and assist me. And it took us 2 weeks, and she now is pursuing art on her own because she was inspired by creating this with me, which I'm super proud about. So how my artwork impacts people and their reactions and how it inspires me. It's a feedback loop that keeps me growing as a person and as an artist. Ooh. So each painting, mural, and project becomes part of a larger story that connects me with others, and that keeps the cycle going. This here is a, did I get ahead of myself? This here is a mosaics that I'm doing for the Red Mid Transit Center. So it first became an exploration of artwork and themes in the Pacific Northwest. You see leaves, funky moon snail shape, ferns and greenery that kind of look like seaweed. And then we are privileged and excited to have all 4 seasons. And it's part of one of my favorite things is autumn in Seattle. And so I pulled inspiration from all of those places to, just to kind of mirror that for the transit center. So it's not yet up, but when you go into the Red Mid Transit Center, you'll see these large mosaics that'll be pulled up as you move swiftly by. And then they were translated into glass. And the translation process was really wonderful because it allowed me to see my work in a new light, in a new texture, in the real world, as opposed to on my screen or me being in creative control. And that collaboration was really beautiful. So here are how they look now. It's really hard to see. They're still in the fabrication studio. They're not yet installed, but they're massive. I'm very excited about them. The one thing that I asked is that they experiment with the tile work. I know murals and I know art, but I don't know mosaic work. So I told them to explore using textured glass, illuminescent, frosty, pearlescent. Like, I'm a girl that loves color. So I hope that I allowed them to experiment and enjoy the project as much as they experimented with me, or I did the same with this project. Therefore, each mural and project becomes part of a larger story that connects me with others. Reoccurring motifs like hummingbirds and wolves start out as personal explorations in the studio and evolve to new meanings in murals. Similarly, the color palette I test on canvas will inspire a wall or a small detail in a painting. It could grow to a focal point for a larger piece. One of my most favorite unintentional, community-driven inspiration is my Orca Whale mural. You'll all have like a little card that I left at the front desk. If you haven't had a chance to grab it, it'll have the directions to this mural. It includes an interactive scannable plaque. Together with the client, we wanted to deepen the connection people had with the artwork and space based on their supportive feedback. So I placed the mural in there and then people were pumped. And so we thought, how can we take this a little bit further? How can we make the community not only feel like they own the mural, but also interact with it? So the plaque links to a meditation inspired by the mural, offering viewers a moment of reflection and calm. For me, this was a gift that not only celebrates the community's love for the mural, but also encourages them to engage with the space in a meaningful and personal way. It reflects how I see art as a living thing that grows and evolves based on the interactions and connections it fosters. This project beautifully demonstrates the power of community, collaboration, and its interactive approach. I look forward to continuing in future works. I'm happy that it has a giant white circle around it, because with the anxiety and the fidgeting, like I keep, yeah. Thank you guys so much for, so how does my work translate into a space? You know, I'm a little body, I'm 4'11", and some of my work is very large, very big. How does that correlate? What am I thinking? So I'm going to share some of my thought process. So my work is drenched in color, bold, bright, and unapologetic. Slip. Just like me. That's very intentional. These vibrant hues come from two major sources: the Pacific Northwest and my Mexican-American heritage. Using these colors is a way of reclaiming and celebrating cultural identity, pushing back against stereotypes and muted depictions of stereotypes I personally have combated against. Nature shows up in my work: animals, plants, symbols, because resilience and strength live in the natural world. Communities of historically underserved people, like nature, have overcome so much. This parallel between nature's perseverance and our enduring spirit is something I lean into, like heavily lean into, honoring both in my art. For example, I use hummingbirds I use this hummingbird specifically to tell the story of my family's struggles with addiction and homelessness. For me, the hummingbird is a symbol of resilience and transformation in the face of obstacles, for instance, size. And if you know, hummingbirds are tiny, 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 but they're also really aggressive. Like, they'll chase you, fly at you. I have one particular one that chirps at me if his feeder isn't filled. I call him the gym bros of the bird world, because they exist on just sugar water, which is like Red Bull to them. So that's my story. So putting that story on a wall made it public, and also humanized a struggle, creating space for conversations we avoid, like homelessness and addiction. The power of public art is that it is public. Anyone walking by gets to see it, think about it, and feel something. Themes like identity and community show up in my work because those are the conversations I want people to have. They invite viewers to see their struggles and triumphs in art, turning my journey into a shared experience. Through all of this, personal experiences, heritage, and community engagement, I've created this ongoing cycle where each piece of art connects back to the people and the stories that inspire it. And in this way, the work isn't just mine anymore. It belongs to everyone who sees it. And I think this is the major difference that sets mural work apart from billboards. And when you see artwork that kind of try to ride that fine line, everybody knows in their heart, like, something's off about this. So this is my way of taking the walls before advertisements can get to them. So how did I find art? How did I get into this? Because it is a very niche kind of thing, right? So how did I find it? Growing up, books, drawings, those were my escapes. When life got messy, art was my refuge. From previous slides, you can see that my family had homelessness and addiction in it. And although a child, that weighs heavy on you. You have no control of it, so you do what you can control. And so art was my escape. So I started with unicorns, rainbows, and mythical creatures. My Roman Empire was Greek mythology. And then I graduated from sketching those to superheroes, bold, invincible figures I could lose myself in. And then middle school hit, and that's when graffiti and hip hop entered the picture. Oop, I forgot to slide. Suddenly art wasn't just on paper, it was out in the world. Graffiti felt rebellious and alive, like it was saying, I am here, pay attention. It gave me a sense of belonging and a sense of power. At first, stepping into a male-dominated graffiti scene was intimidating. I hesitated, but the more I researched and learned about graffiti, and especially the Mexican-American muralism movement of the 60s, how radicalized it was, the more I saw myself in it. It was like a light bulb went off, realizing that public art can tell our stories. And because I forged a path for myself in an industry following others like me, it helped to open pathways for other women to create their own ways, not only succeeding, but exceeding where I left off. And because their success is my success, which is the future success, I celebrate in all of our achievements like a proud auntie, sister, cousin, daughter that I am. And today my murals are a mashup influence of graffiti, anime, folklore, and fairy tales. And I use spray paint as a way to mix it all together into something vibrant and uniquely me. I think when you see a mural of mine in the wild, you're like, oh yeah, that's 179. I'm excited about that. But spray paint isn't just a tool for me. It's a connection to the roots of graffiti and street art. It's deeply tied to communities of color, and it speaks resistance and it holds space. Using spray paint allows me to carry forward the legacy, amplifying stories that often go unheard. Art that reflects our collective identity. So this cycle of inspiration from artists before me to the communities I work with, to the people who see my art, is what keeps me going. Art is never just one thing. Through public art, mentorship, and activism, my goal is to celebrate our shared stories, create meaningful connections, and foster our pride in spaces we call home. So for example, be your ancestors' wildest dreams. This is at El Suenito Brewing and Freelard Tamales in Bellingham. The owners and I crafted this piece that celebrates Mexican heritage and the immigrant experience. The phrase, be your ancestors' wildest dreams, is a call to honor the sacrifices of those who came before us while striving for the futures they imagined. Here is my newest mural, Bloomside for DSC. This Buryan mural, created for transitional homes, specifically for veterans and those experiencing homelessness, celebrates strength and growth. Each flower carries a message, like the little black-eyed Susan that looks like a sunflower that symbolizes encouragement and justice, reflecting the strength of the people this resource serves. And then finally, here is reproductive rights in Fort Worth. Collaborating with Shout Your Abortion on a mural for whole women's health in Texas was an act of activism. In a state with restrictive reproductive laws, this piece creates a welcoming and affirming space for those seeking reproductive health care. It's art with a message. Everyone deserves dignity and support. So here I have some murals resonate deeply because they're built from shared dreams and stories. So sadly, this mural is no longer there, and the space has been taken over quite angrily, I don't know how to say the word, but by sneakily is a good way, by anti-abortion groups. But that doesn't mean that the idea or memory is gone. It lives on in the community of people still advocating for freedom of choice and for people who sought comfort in its words. Therefore, the ripple effect, building a creative ecosystem. So, where did that slide go? How I create this is just different pillars. Mentorship was first and foremost. Since I was born in Seattle, I have had the wonderful opportunity to be involved in a lot of youth advocating art programs. Urban Artworks is one of them. They helped me as a young artist, and so therefore I give back by mentoring others, particularly those from historically underserved communities like the one I came from. And if you're in the design industry, you know AIGA. They have LINK program, which also serves youth, and they have classes over at Cornish. And I also participated in that, and that's how I learned about design school, which I later pursued and then decided I don't like computers, so it happens. Creating opportunities for other artists, so I help organize Mural Masters. It's a 3-day mural festival, it's one of my favorite projects. It's not just about the art, it's about the energy of the community and bringing artists together. So we seek and find local artists to paint in Burien, and it's wonderful and amazing, and you guys should come. And then where my art takes me, Murals Beyond Seattle. So murals have taken me far beyond Seattle, connecting me with incredible communities. Projects like the Flint Mural Project, which reclaim the narrative of what we think when we hear Flint, Michigan, by showcasing the rich art community that thrives there. And then Great Walls this past summer in Montana have taught me that no matter where you are, art can bridge divides, build trust, and create lasting bonds. And then one of the most important and wonderful examples of community interaction influencing my work was a mural I created this year for Red Can, hosted by the Cheyenne River Youth Community Youth Project in beautiful Eagle Butte, South Dakota. I witnessed the power of art to reclaim space and culture. And Red Can is a 4-day mural and art festival servicing and celebrating the Cheyenne River Lakota Nation's youth. Boop. So this is the mock-up. Each year I select a subject tied to the community. Last year was hare or rabbit, which has historically been a meat source in their diet. This year I focused on the Lakota word for horse, which is shukawakan, meaning sacred dog. Its word lovingly is reflective of how close their bond is, how close the Lakota are to their horses. For this piece, I researched, listened to stories, and asked questions about Lakota history and language. The community's involvement brought incredible depth to the work, sorry. Relatives showed stories about how horses came to the Lakota people and why they're called sacred dogs. And they're called sacred dogs is because they're also very close to their dogs. And so when they saw the horse, they were like, oh, it's just a bigger dog. So that's why they're called sacred dogs. They shared their stories of how it came to their people, offering me layers of cultural context. I also learned how to say it in slang, which is a shunka. And there's a phrase that I forget, I wrote it down somewhere, but when you're like getting ready to go, like, oh, we're gonna go to the store, you say, go get your dog, which means go get your horse. So I was learning a lot. Many even helped me navigate the complexities of spelling, pronunciation, and actually writing Shikawakan. As the Lakota language has undergone significant colonization and erasure, resulting in multiple interactions. And it was a very passionate argument with this. Like, aunties came out, grandmas came out, uncles were very vocal about what was right and what was wrong. So I like that. The mural became a shared experience as at one of the town's major crossroads. The collaborative discussions and storytelling allowed me to ensure the mural not only celebrated the language and the culture, but actively engaged the community in preserving and honoring their heritage. And so this is the mural. And if you notice this side, I think this side, the other side of auto value, you'll see me, how tiny I am, walking towards the mural. So you can get an idea of how big it was. This took me 2.5 days to do because I'm only there for 5 days. So you have to really make it count. I might be tiny, but I am mighty. The one thing that I think about the reflection of this is how the community could still see me in this piece. It's reflective of them, and they help major parts of it. But when I asked them, oh, what does it remind you of? A lot of them said the ocean. So, recap. I honor my roots in Mexican-American muralism, weaving tradition in my own style and my voice. Boom. I also blend analog techniques like paper drawing, which sometimes you just need a good pencil scratch on a paper, nice, thick, juicy, textured paper, with digital tools. I like my iPad. I use Adobe products and also Procreate to create my digital illustrations, which then translate to murals or the mosaic. I bridge past and future, creating art that feels timeless yet fresh. And by making space for diverse perspectives, I contribute to a creative ecosystem that is inclusive, dynamic, and ever evolving. That's the important part, is that it evolves. This isn't just my legacy, it's our legacy. Together we create, connect, and grow in a cycle that reflects the best of who we are, and I strive to be that. All I can do is lead by example and hope to inspire others to do the same within their own spaces. So, closing remarks is Bruce Lee said things about ripples. It starts little and then it grows and grows and grows. And me being from Seattle, of course, I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. I also was never allowed to play him in our childhood games. So this is my taking that back to my brother, like. Through vibrant colors, nature-inspired imagery, and deeply personal narratives, my work creates space for dialogue, connection, and pride. Art is a powerful force, a way to celebrate, heal, and inspire. My journey as an artist has shown me that every brushstroke or of the can and every conversation can spark something greater. And then here's a little treat for you. There's my little face. And that's a piece I created when I was very little, around this age. And the butterfly is representative of my family. So the outer layer of the wings, the different colors, are different people in my family. And my mom thought it was really wonderful, and she wanted to share that with my grandmother. So I was able to save this when I was going through boxes when they passed. So by focusing on joy, accessibility, and empowerment, I hope to leave behind a legacy that lives far beyond my murals. And then my call to action for everyone is, let's continue the cycle together, building a world where creativity connects us inspires us and moves us forward. Yay! Thank you.